Taram, Namo Siddhadam, Namo Airivyadam, Namo Uvachayadam, Namo Loe Sabsahudam. Mangalam Bhagavan Viro, Mangalam Gautamogani, Mangalam Kunda Kundatyo, Chain Dharmostu Mangalam, Sarva Mangalya Mangalyam, Sarva Kalyana Karakam, Pradhanam Sarva Dharmanam, Chainam Jayatu Shasanam, Chainam Jayatu Shasanam, Chainam Jayatu Shasanam. Okay. So we were learning about these six substances when we discussed last about this world, this cosmos. And we saw that, okay, this world is made up of these six substances, Jeev, Pudgal, Dharma, Adharma, Akash, and Kal. And then we discussed in detail about what a dravya is and of what attributes it's made up of. So there are two types of attributes, common attributes and special, unique attributes, samanya gunas and vishesh gunas. The common attributes are those attributes which apply to all the substances, the laws that govern this whole universe. So there are six main common attributes which we learned about: Astitva Guna, Vastutva Guna, Dravyatva Gun, Agru Lagutva Gun, Pradeshatva Gun, and Prameyatva Gun. So these are the six common attributes that we have already discussed about. We have also discussed about how this whole thing functions. So these six attributes ensure that all the six substances, they remain at their work, they exist, they do not get destroyed, they have no uh, they, they are very much secured in their own space, in the work, in the job that they have been allotted to do. And nobody has allotted them to do anything. It's by themselves, by innate nature, that they are or they have been doing the same thing forever. uh, and then after that, we also learned about the special attributes which actually give definition to all these six substances. So for Jiva, the special attribute is to know. The special attribute the Jiva has is Gyan and Darshan and Sukh. So that we all are sentient beings, we all can perceive, we have consciousness, which is very unique to us because all other things that we see around, like the space, like the time, the furniture, the houses, the roads, the cars, they do not have any intellect, they cannot feel anything, they cannot know anything. So what attribute is unique to Jiva is its consciousness. What attributes are unique to the matter? That it can be touched. So the attribute of sparsh, attribute of ras, that it has taste, we can taste the matter. Then it has some kind of odor, it has some kind of smell. So it has attribute of gandh, and it can also be seen, it's visible because it has attribute of burn or color, right? So these are the special attributes of pudgal or matter. Then dharmastika dravya is the medium of motion. So its special attribute is to aid us in traveling. So Jiva and Pudgal, these two substances travel, and who helps them, who provides some sort of assistance in their travel? Dharmastika does it. Just like to swim, we need medium of water. We need a swimming pool or a pond or a river or an ocean to swim. Similarly, to go from one point to another, we need the medium of motion, which is the dharmastika dravya. The adharmastika dravya is the medium of rest. So we all are sitting here to learn about Jainism. We all are at rest right now. It is because of adharma dravya. Akash dravya, it has a special attribute to give us space. It gives us avgahana. We all have our own pradeshatvagun, which gives us shape. The Akash Dravya assists in it. It does not ask us to vacate this whole cosmos because everything is owned by it. So Akash Dravya has special attribute of assisting us in Avgahana. And the Kal, we all know, it aids, it helps us in transforming, in doing our activities. All the Dravyas, they transform because of Kal Dravya. So this was whole thing about these Jeev, Pudgal, Dharm, Madhram, Akash, Kal, these six substances. And then we graduated to a different topic. And then we thought, okay, we have learned about how this world looks like. But what do we do with this knowledge? Of what use is this knowledge to us? Why am I learning about Jivas, Pudgalas, Dharma, Dharma, Akash, and Kal? Of what good it is to know about whatever is there in this universe? Why are we putting so much of our energy and thoughts into knowing about the different kind of matter, different kind of substances that this cosmos has? So then we changed orientation of our learning a bit, and then we divided further these 6 substances into 7. We're going to do that. We started doing it in the last class. So what we said, okay, there are infinite types of jivas. There are so many souls out there in this universe. So the small organisms, the bacteria, the one cell organisms, humans, animals, birds, fish. There are so many different kind of jivas, right? Those who know. But to me, actually what matters is my own happiness. So if other person is in suffering, I feel for that person. I might feel some empathy for that person, for that being, but I cannot feel their pain. And it's not just about just that some distant life. Even a mother cannot feel the pain of her children. She can feel bad that her children are in pain, but how the children feel the pain, it's only up to them. So we all know that, okay, we all are in some sort of tension, some sort of worry, some sort of pain, some needs that we that are not getting fulfilled. We all are in some sort of worry. We all endure it during our lifetimes, right? But at the same time, our misery, our worry, our joy, our pain, it is very personal to us. If I'm happy, and what I am feeling when I'm happy, I cannot share it with you. I can describe what I'm feeling, but I cannot just make you feel the same level of happy that I am happy right now, right? So in that way, if I take all the jivas and if I select, okay, which jiva is the most important jiva for me, and it all comes down to the single person, and that is me. My happiness and my joy is very personal to me. It cannot be shared, it cannot be stolen, it cannot be felt by anybody else. So therefore, we said, okay, now I'm not going to learn about the Jeev Dravya, I am going to learn about Jeev Tattva. So we started learning about the tattvas. In the last class, we started doing that. So this Jiva is simply called I. I means me. So there is very famous story. If I'll tell you what happened, there was a king, okay, and he was a great king. His name was Janaka. Okay, he was a great king. And what happened? He went to a jungle for just safari. Uh, Along with his courtiers and his whole like his ministers and everybody, he went to a jungle. So the horse that he was sitting on, that horse went mad, and then it started running, and it was just a matter of time that that horse, after getting mad, took him into deep jungle, and so deep that his other ministers lost his trail. They could not trace him. And then what this mad horse did, it just jumped the king off his back, and the king went totally unconscious in the jungle, in the deep jungle. And none of his ministers, his courtiers, nobody, his bodyguards, nobody could trace him. Now, in the middle of the night, he came back into his senses, the king Janaka. Okay, Soham Jain, Adi, you guys are here, right? Right? Who has not joined us today?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So we're listening to a story of Janaka, King Janaka, right? So now he just gains his consciousness back, and then he finds himself in this jungle, and he kinds of gets scared that, okay, what has happened? Exactly, he could not figure out, he could not remember what actually happened. And then slowly he started remembering, but he could not find anything out. So he could not find out what actually happened. But suddenly he started to feel thirsty. He was his whole throat, it was just burning. He was very thirsty and he could not find water around. And slowly, in the search of water, he started walking. And in that huge, dense forest, he could not see a way out. But by luck, there was a one small house, very small house inside that jungle that he could find out. He knocked on the door of that house, and the owner of the house opened the door, and he looked at the king, and he understood that he is our king. But it was very strange. The person who opened the door, generally, when you look at your king, you actually feel good and you greet them. You greet your king and you welcome them inside you, because king do not visit anybody, any ordinary person's home that regularly, right? But when that owner opened the door and he saw that there is King Janaka in front of him, he got scared. He got, and the king was shocked. Why is he scared? He should have greeted me, right? So the king said, ignoring everything, he said, "Okay, oh, dear friend, can you please provide me with some water?" With shivering voice, the owner of that house says, "Oh, dear king, I would love to help in any way I can. But you know what has happened during the day today when you were out to the forest and when you could not be traced? The enemy who was in our neighborhood, it attacked the kingdom and now has taken over your palace and has given strict orders that whoever will help the king, Janaka, his entire family will be prosecuted. So though I want to help you, but I'm really sorry, I cannot help you." Now, the king was already thirsty, and now it's a double shocker. He was the worry for him right now was that he wanted to have water. He could not just live with that thirst. But at the same time, now he comes to know that his entire kingdom has been taken over by an enemy. It's a great shocker. But then the king says, "Okay, fine, whatever, I'll figure it out, whatever has happened, but please give me some water." And the farmer, who was the owner of that house, he just shuts the door on the face of that king. The king, shattered, feeling shattered, moved to the next house, which was a bit far away. The thirst was still growing. He could not just bear the pain of the thirst. And then he knocks on the door of another house. The same thing repeats. The same thing happens. The family asserts him that they want to help and they love their king, but they cannot help because they have to put their family first. And from one family, from one house to another, the Janaka keeps on roaming with thirst increasing. He just could not bear it. And then he felt that he is going to collapse. And it's his last moment of life, and he's about to die. And the moment he closes his eyes, suddenly he wakes up in his bed in his royal court. It was a bad dream. It was a bad dream, and he was, all sweating up. His heart beats really paced up. He did not know what to do. And then he looks here and there and he finds out that there are jars of juices, jars of water lying in his palace. There is one person who is just uh, playing the fan for him. And now he is mind boggled. What has just happened? And he went to a different state. He had only one question now. He had only one question. Is this true or that? The question, do you get the question now? What is the question? What is the truth? The king who was lost into the dense jungle, the king who was thirsty, the king whose kingdom was taken over by the enemy, and the king who was about to die out of thirst. That was the reality, or this is the reality when he is safely on his royal bed resting and he has every kind of luxury available to him. What is the truth? I want to know. Okay, Jia. Which situation is the true situation? What is
None of,
the truth? None
none of,
of them?
yeah.
Why?
Um, could you say that like they're
Okay,
all,
was he thirsty or was he not thirsty?
he was thirsty.
He is not anymore. He did not drink water as he woke up. So is the thirst real?
Um,
Was
no,
he lost or was he not lost?
he was lost.
But he is in his royal bed. Where is he lost? What
He's
is
not,
the truth? Which situation? Is the dream real or the reality is real? What is it? Okay, we all see dreams, right? And whatever happens to us in those dreams, as long as we are still asleep, we cannot differentiate between the reality and a dream. We live the dream as if it is the reality. Yes, yes, Adi. Ever happened that you're about to fall from your bed and you just woke up and you're very safe? Ever you had a dream of that kind? Ever? No. Sometimes we have that fear. Okay, we are about to fall, and the moment we fall, we wake up. We wake up, right? Because why does that happen? And you know, no, I think nobody dies in their dreams. Have you ever noticed that? If we are just about to meet that accident and we wake up, we're about to fall and we wake up. Something terrible is about to happen and we wake up. We never witness the death, right? The neurosciences tell us about when they discuss about dreams, the psychology, they tell us about this whole phenomena is that because we can only dream or imagine what we have experienced. We have not experienced death, therefore we never die in our dreams, right? So it's kind of it's what neuroscience says, it's what the psychiatry says. But the question over here right now in front of us is that what is the reality? We're trying to learn about the reality. Is this when we're talking, this is real, or when in our dreams we talk, that talk is real? And how do we draw a line? Because when we're involved in a dream, we are totally involved in it. We live it. We live that fear. If you'll see a person who is in dreams and who is riding a car and running, or somebody's running behind him, after him, you can actually trace his heartbeats. You can actually see his body sweating. We can actually see that he's feeling that pain, that fear, the excitement, the adventure, the good vibes, the bad vibes, the good feelings, the bad feelings, the trauma, the joy. In our dreams, we see all these things, we feel it. So the things happen as if they are actually happening in our dreams. Soham, does it happen to you or not? When you're in
Yeah, it
dream,
does.
yeah, it looks like that we are actually there, and the whole when I close my eyes and I light, I I was on. I just went to my bed. I was in my city, but the moment I went to the deep sleep and suddenly I'm in some mountain, I'm just trekking over some beautiful mountain. So I have just transcended to a different space and different time with different people, sometimes known, sometimes unknown, right? And it all gets created out of nowhere. We have interactions, we have memories, we laugh, we fight. Everything happens as if it is happening for real. So the question that King Jana is pondering upon right now is, of these two situations, which situation is right and which situation is not right? What is the truth? Which situation is reality and which situation is not? Okay, let's have a poll. Okay, what we see in dream, is that the reality, or what we are living right now, this is the reality? What if this is a dream too? What proof do we have that it's not a dream, it's the reality that we are actually living in? And do you ever wonder how this reality can be tweaked just by shifting a bit of your neurons and some of your brain cells? You just tweak them a bit, you give some kind of chemical, and you can just turn around the entire reality for a particular person, right? You can totally disorient a person by just tweaking his brain cells. Isn't it wonderful? See, I see with my eyes this whole like furniture that is around me. So Jia and Adi are sitting together, right? Jia, you know what you are seeing in your rooms, the way you see colors, the way you see furniture, Adi does not see it in that way. He has different type of kshopsham. He has different type of his knowledge. He has a different type of knowledge that is very unique to him because the kind of Jnana Karm he has got bonded with, it is coming to its fruition. So the reality, how many types of different worlds do we live in? The same type of worlds we live in, it is equal to the number of people that are living in it because each and every person has a different and unique version of world in their memories. So we perceive the world the way nobody else does. So there is not one world. There are so many different worlds originating out of our perception. So I want to know from you, what if somebody comes and says, just like the dream is not real, the reality is also not real. We all are just living in some simulation, some bigger dream. I'll tell you what happens in Hindu mythology, in Hindu philosophy. What they believe is, they believe that, okay, just like when I fall asleep and whatever I see is my dream, and the moment I wake up, the dream ends. Similarly, what we are right now doing is God's dream. And the day gods wake up, it will all be finished. This is what Shankaracharya said. That's why nothing is real around over here. Did you get the philosophical point? Just like we see a dream and we create so many versions. So in my dream, if Adi comes, so is Adi in my dream? Who created Adi? I created, no, in my dream, because he was very well sleeping in his house, or he might be at that time in his school, right? But in my dream, he could come and visit me. Who created him? My imagination. Similarly, so in my dream, whatever is created is my creation. Similarly, this reality in which we all are living and interacting, it is some God's big dream going on. And the moment that God wakes up, and it will all evaporate. This is one philosophical theory to the origin of this world. And that's why they say there is only one God, and that one God has made us all out of his imagination for his entertainment. And the day he decides he gets bored, okay, done with this. And he loses his dream and it's all done. So what do you think? Are we also somebody else's dream? Okay, first let's take it point by point, and we'll just do it for 5 more minutes today, and then I'll give you a whole week to think upon it, because it's a very important topic that we're talking about. We're transitioning into a different and most important topic of Jainism. It's of tattvas. So it's very important to know that what I is, right? So now, first, let's take it step by step. Is dream real? Is dream the reality? The dreams that we see is reality. Is it, or why? How do we know it? Because very simple, very simple. We'll take it by that fashion. How do we differentiate between the dream and the reality? So if I am going to my bed and if I'm writing a diary and I'm very tired, so I just write half page, okay? And then I go to bed. In the morning when I wake up, I will still find that diary on my desk with that half page written. I can resume the very next day. But can you resume back to your dreams where you left and you go to sleep, and can you restart that dream? So the dream though is not a reality, very evident. This because we have connections, because even after going to sleep and living a different reality in a dream, we can again come back and resume. Therefore, it is, while comparing the dream and the reality is more physical. It can be perceived more well. It has some sort of existence. So King Janaka is still wondering, is this the reality or that? Because he again questioned himself, okay, if the dream was not in reality, why was I worried? I was actually thirsty at that time. I was not making it up. My pain was real. So if that dream was not real, then why my pain was real? And if my pain is real and dream is not, then this pain while I am awake, this is real, but the reality is not. The logic should apply in the same way. Am I making any sense to you guys? Soham, Jia, Adi, do you find it interesting? This is how philosophical talks happen. Out of nowhere, there is no need to discuss all these things, but there is, right? Yeah. So the king went mad. Whoever comes, okay, king, what happened? Oh, king, what happened? He says, is this the truth or that? His wives come, the queens come, and they say, oh, what do you want? What happened to you? He said, is this the reality or that? He just keeps on repeating the same sentence. And everybody is very scared now. Has the king gone mad? Why is he not, is he under some shock? Why does he not say anything else? 10 days passed, 15 days passed. He has not spoken a different sentence. He's only saying, is this the reality or that? And then doctors were invited, the Vaidyas were invited, the royal doctors were invited. They tested his whole, like they did the whole body checkup and they found, okay, everything is real, but we do not know, it's not physical, whatever it is. And we do not have any medicine for mental illness as of now. So then what to do? So the King Janak had his guru. His name was Ashtavakra. So he was invited to the court. The king was sitting on his royal chair and the Ashtavakra comes and he says, oh king, what happened? The king again started, is this real or that? So Ashtavakra says, nor this is real, not that. Neither the dream is real, nor the reality. Then he says, then what is real? And for this question, I think we should take a break. I want you guys to conclude and think over this week. What is the, if the dream is not the reality is not the reality, then what is the reality? Dream is not real, that we are convinced. How this reality is not real? And if it is not real, then what is real? What reality is? Okay, you'll think about it. Okay, the answer is somewhere in this one letter I. Okay, try relate it with I and think, ponder of this question. This is a great question, great story in mythology, in philosophy. So we'll resume from that. Actually, I have another class today here in Shibir, so I'll have to leave right now. But please make sure that you think about it, and then we'll discuss about the tattvas, beginning with I and all other tattvas. Okay? Okay, so let's do quickly Jinvani Stuti. निज निधि निज में बताई यह अनंत उपकार है, उसके लिए चिन्वाणी माँ को वंदना शत बार, उसके लिए चिन्वाणी माँ को वंदना शत बार. 9 times from Ukar mantra. जिनवाणी मात नु जय हो, जैन धर्म नु जय हो. Jai Snendra, thank you.
Jai Sir.